Welcome back. Episode 165 of the Bears' latest podcast. I'm your host, Colton St. Vincent. Thank you to Underdog for sponsoring this video. While you're listening, grab your phone, boop, give it a scan. We've got a QR code for these guys right over there. While that downloads, we'll talk Bears football past the time. Number one, Caden McDonald. Bears are hosting Caden McDonald, Ohio State defensive tackle, for a top 30 visit. We talked about this in an episode or two ago, but Bears like to use these visits to get to know people better. So if you hear a visit, don't necessarily think it's a guarantee. Maybe they are on the fence about him. Maybe they are like, whoa, if we like him as a person, we can even trade up and get him. We can trade down because we don't like him. The offensive line coach recently was, I believe, on a radio show, and he mentioned how the organization sort of switched their purposes and their uses for visits, and a lot of the people that they use on these visits they don't draft. However, they do draft. You got to draft someone, and if you are, this is a good one. All-American for McDonald at Ohio State. Played 14 games, 65 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, pass deflection, a fumble recovery. Big-ass dude, athletic motor, dude's a monster. Fills a need. We need a good, young defensive tackle. I miss Tommy Harris. I miss you, Tommy Harris. Way back in the day, Tommy Harris. Yeah, dude, we just need a good guy that's going to really pop and hopefully, be our guy for a few years. So, name to keep an eye out for, Caden McDonald. Another name on here, you may see him on the side there, Ty Simpson. What the hell? Dan Orlovsky called him the best quarterback in this class. Now, why is that on a Bears latest podcast, episode 165? Bears could trade down. There's always a quarterback that jumps up. Might not fully be a first-round talent, but people need a quarterback. So they'd rather risk get their guy and see if he's it, because if they don't and he goes somewhere else, that's very hard to swallow when it's against you. However, I think if Ty Simpson were to climb, I think he would go before 25. But that's typically a spot where these quarterbacks that fall go. Aaron Rodgers, Jackson Dart, guys like that, 25, 24. That's a spot that if you are, say, like the 12th pick in the draft, you make your pick and then you trade your second and a future second, stuff like that. So the Bears could really benefit from trading back. We use a lot of picks for a lot of stuff. I'm looking at it now. If we're looking at teams that need a quarterback, but wouldn't necessarily want to use one high up here, we would even look at a team like, say, the Jets. Actually, the Jets do have 2 firsts. That's a terrible, horrible, no good example. But Cardinals, you don't want to draft quarterback at 3. Browns is an option. The Dolphins is an option. So there's guys who are in the top. There are teams in the top 15ish. That could they don't have to necessarily get a quarterback early on, because if Ty Simpson's the second best one and they think he'll be available around 25, that's a spot then. The Browns do have the 24th pick, so that's unfortunate. So that kind of throws that there out the window. But you guys get what I mean. The better Ty Simpson is, the better chance there's 2 quarterbacks in the first round. In order for them to be 3 quarterbacks in the first round, there has to be 2. So this is a good step. Sometimes a random-ass dude comes out of nowhere and is a late first. So if there were a surging quarterback in this draft, Ty Simpson's the guy. If there's another guy, then the Bears would be in business for a trade-down situation. We'll see what teams are actively looking for quarterback. Steelers isn't a bad one, but Steelers also have the 21st pick. Why wouldn't you just pick my 21? I'm talking myself out of it, but also talking myself into it at the same time. So one thing I never have to talk myself into or out of. Underdog is the easiest thing in the world. Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, block parties are back. Underdog, that's the best place to get in on all of the action. Playing on Underdog, it's easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. If you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. That's right, 5,000 times your cash. This week, we're going balls to the wall here, all right? Fletcher Lawyer. I love Texas Purdue. It's March Madness, guys. It's March Madness. Get ready for it by joining the club here on the Fletcher Lawyer train. We're going over on everything. Every number that you're thinking of, think higher. Higher or lower, 19.5 points, assists, and rebounds, higher. 2.5 rebounds, higher. 2.5 assists, higher. 2.5 3-pointers made, higher. 1.5 blocks plus steals, higher. This might be the best game anyone's ever had in basketball history. So if you're watching it and you see Fletcher Lawyer popping off and you're thinking, oh, that guy told me all about this. This is what we're talking about right now. This is your chance. This is your moment. Climb aboard. Let me know how you guys do. But use promo code FootballFan. Download the app. Use promo code FootballFan right down there to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code FootballFan. Underdog. Make picks. Win money.
Must be 18 plus. 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/play and get terms DFSTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-878 or text HOMI 467-369.
Beautiful. Another beautiful thing. We got stats here. At NFL Researcher. This, if you guys want a peek at potentially the greatest life in the world, at NFL Researcher on Twitter. Tony Holzman Inscareno. Nailed that. He's the senior researcher for NFL. He is the guy that does all these deep dives and, like, for example, Levante David announced his retirement. Players with 1,000 tackles, 40 sacks, 35 takeaways over the last 30 seasons. Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, Levante David. Stats like that. So the dude he lives in Hawaii, dude. He is the senior researcher, lives in Hawaii, and his whole life is probably just being chill, being a surfer, and coming up with some sick stats. Came up with one. Most first downs or touchdowns in the fourth quarter of one-possession games in 2025. Listed the top 13 players here. Number 13 is tied between Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence with 25. You climb all the way up to the top 3. Caleb Williams, third on the list. 36 first downs or touchdowns. Only 2 guys above him, Matthew Stafford, the MVP, and Josh Allen. That's the former MVP. So that's a pretty damn good company to be with. Bo Nix right after him. Drake May was runner-up in MVP, and he's 10th on this list. Caleb's third with 36. Maybe it could be construed as a stupid stat, where you're just bunching things together to get numbers. I'm looking at this as positive results in one-possession games in the fourth quarter. You're going forward. You're either crossing the first down, getting it, or crossing the goal line, and what more could you want? Bears don't have this, have ever had this, so I'm bringing up every single good stat I can. Finally, our last one is another little rumor here. So, Yahoo Sports, Ernesto Cova wrote a little article here talking about how the Bears already lured in Khalif Raymond, right? Well, the next in-division rival that Ernesto thinks that they should go after, Harrison Smith. So they connect him to a Dennis Allen defense. He's still a free agent. Certainly, we could use some help at strong safety. So I think it's a perfect situation. I don't think he's going to really need a lot of money. He's like 36, if I'm right. But currently, the Bears only have $243,000 in cap space. Who knows what'll happen if you cut, commit, make some trades, restructure, stuff like that. But it might be challenging. He's 36 last season, so he'll be 37 this year. Played in 15 games last year. The dude's a beast, Hall of Famer, and it's definitely something that could be a huge win for Dennis Allen's defense. Leadership, but just also overall like knowledge and like coaching. He still had a 68.9 overall grade on Pro Football Focus, 31st among 89 strong safeties. So he's still a top third, along with the smarts, along with the coaching, along with the veteran leadership. I don't think he's going to be a long-term contract guy to end his career. I think he's going to be a one-year guy. So something to keep an eye out for, because I think the proven leader here would be pretty damn sweet. You got your Super Bowl window once you get your young quarterback. Get him on his rookie deal and see what he does. So Harrison Smith could be a fun little addition to the Bears. But that's it. Those are some tidbits for you. Episode 165 of the Bears Latest Podcast. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Colton St. Vincent. Thank you for Underdog, and thank you for Caleb and Ben Johnson. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.